Hi, art students. This is our last week of the trimester, so make sure um, you finished all your projects. If there's a project you haven't finished, then you can finish it this week and turn it in. Now, the 28th is a Thursday, so that's the last day you can turn it in at school because I'll pick it up. Normally, I pick up on Tuesday and Wednesday from your regular classes, but I will also pick up Thursday because it's the end, right? But you don't have school on Friday. So if you're finishing at home on that Friday, then just take a picture of it and send it to me or upload it to Canvas. Okay? And if you think you missed a project or something, you can check Power School. You can have a parent help you check Power School. If you don't have a grade, um, like on an earlier project, like you turned in like weeks ago, then yeah, maybe I haven't gotten it yet. So you can email me. But if you turned in something like that Thursday, then it'll take a couple days for me to grade it. And I probably did get it. That's pretty complicated, huh? So just make sure you finish your work and either bring it to school next week or this week, right? By the 28th. I'm filming this ahead of time. And if you're remote only, just take a picture of it and email it to me or upload it to Canvas. Okay? So get those projects in, and that'll be that. So one more thing though, for sixth grade, the 3D shoe, that's not going to be part of your trimester one grade. I'm pushing that into trimester two. So this week is kind of a catch-up week for sixth grade. So you can finish up your shoe, but if you have other projects to finish, like cut line, city perspective, and your zebra, finish those first, right? That's what really matters. Finish those three and turn them in. If you're in fifth grade, let's see, fifth grade, the kaleidoscope, I'm pushing that into the next trimester. So that's not part of your first trimester grade. So finish up your other stuff first. Fifth grade has VCS perspective, fish scratch, Starbucks doodle, and warped checkerboard. So finish those before you finish your kaleidoscope, and then send me pictures or just bring them to school. And then fourth grade, your comic book project, I'm pushing that into second trimester, right? So you don't have to, like, it's due, the 29th, but you don't, if it's not finished, or if you have previous projects to finish, like your Rubik's Cube, Campbell's soup can, and Owl Scratch is in there, and a missing one. What was the third one? Oh, the Swatch Watch. So if those aren't finished, finish those first before you finish your comp book, right? And then send me pictures, etc., etc. Finish that stuff, send it to me. Thank you. And if parents, if you're listening, like I said, thank you for helping your student finish their work. And you can just check my Canvas art page to see the projects they have to do. You can check Power School. All right. Okay. So now it's time for Godzilla of the Week. So last week, I forgot who won last week. Was it Godzilla 62 maybe? Anyways, second place, I don't remember. Second place was Legion. So this week we're doing Legion. And there will be a new survey for you to vote on. Okay? But here's Legion. Okay, here he is. He's kind of cool. He's like a giant bug. He's like a locust, kind of. So he fought Gamera. So this is a Gamera enemy. The new Gamera, that is. Gamera is the flying turtle. I showed him to you. And Legion's really cool. He really is based off that Bible verse, like the demon-possessed man who had 1,000 demons in him. So this is like Legion has all of these kind of pods, and so he's got like not 1,000, but kind of, and they shoot out and they form little creatures, little mini legions. So he's like an army too, and so he's pretty cool. This thing, normally it's closed, but it opens up and then it shoots like a death ray. So normally it's closed. But anyways, he's pretty rad, isn't he? That's why I wanted to show him to you. He's pretty creepy too. He's like a big um, locust insect bug kind of a monster, and he's really huge, like in the movie. So I think it was just called Gamera versus Legion, I think. Okay, see, eye detail, face detail, pretty cool. All right, awesome, huh? So he's one of my favorites. I got a lot of favorites. Okay, so that's it. So that's it for Godzilla of the Week. Let's get into the art part of this week, okay? Hi, students. This is a video for an extra fun project. This is not for a grade. This is not an official class assignment. This is extra. So this is not something you have to do. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. This is just for students who want to do something or are finished with all of their art projects. So, for instance, 5th and 6th graders, we have like an extra week before the trimester ends. So I'm just having this video just for fun if you want to do it. But I'm kind of leaving this week open for you to finish your projects if you haven't finished everything yet, right? Same with both 5th and 6th grade, you have a week to catch up. If you have a project you have to finish up. 4th grade, you guys still have something to do this week. You have a video. But I'm going to give it to the 4th grade anyways. Remember, this is not a real project. It's just for fun. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. But I'm giving it to you 4th graders too, just because you might want to do it, okay? And make sure you finish your other projects first. So if you're 4th, 5th, or 6th, and you still have a art project to finish that's due, finish that first. Even 6th grade, you guys, and 5th grade, you guys have a project that's due. The kaleidoscope and the 3D shoe, you can finish that before you do this. This is just extra. Okay, here we go. So, I gave you a template for Godzilla, and you can draw him. You can make him up. You can kind of draw him yourself, or you can look at a picture and kind of copy it, or you can look at a toy. I kind of have a toy to look at. I'm going to try to draw him. And I have a Godzilla, and you can print these out. They'll be, your parents are going to have to help you print them out. But I'll have them in my Canvas video page, right? So I have a Godzilla that's going to the right, and I have a Godzilla that's going to the left. Now remember, these are just kind of templates that you can draw on top of. This is just to kind of help you get started. You're really going to draw your own Godzilla. You'll notice I didn't even draw the tail, because you're going to draw it however you want to. But I do have a left and a right Godzilla in case you want them to be kind of standing off to fight, or maybe they just want to hug, right? They want to hug so that your parents won't get upset with me because it's like violent, right? But anyways, I have a left and right Godzilla if you want to do different kinds of monsters kind of facing off each other. And I highly recommend you draw this with pencil first. You're going to draw this with pencil real lightly and carefully, and then you would go and kind of trace it with a marker. So use a pencil first. In fact, I'll just put a pencil here just so you remember. Pencil, eraser, and you're going to lightly draw it. Then you're going to get a marker and ink it, and then color it in. In fact, I recommend you draw pencil, then color it green or whatever color he's going to be, then mark it with your marker. You'll trace it and you'll make your lines bolder. So do the marker last. Now, why am I going to do my marker first? Well, only because I've been doing this for many years and I can just draw directly with a Sharpie. But you're going to use a pencil first. Pencil. You're going to draw lightly with a pencil. You can erase and stuff. Then you're going to color it, whatever you want. Color pencils, markers. Color pencils will probably work really good, but markers might work. And then finally, you're going to trace your main lines with a Sharpie. But I'm going to do it first, just because I'm experienced. Okay, so I'm going to move this here. Let's see, I'm going to put that there. Let's focus. I'm wondering if this blue pencil, forget it. It might be trying to focus on that blue pencil. Okay, so what am I going to do first? Well, I have this outline, and I'm going to try to, you want to kind of figure out where the parts go. Let's see if this, yeah. So, he's probably like has an eye right about here. And different Godzillas will look differently. The Godzilla I'm trying to do is Godzilla versus, it's Godzilla 64. So this is Godzilla um, versus Mothra. This particular Godzilla. And so you're going to kind of go in and you're just going to try to draw your Godzilla. And practice makes perfect, right? You might do a couple of these before you get good at it, I guess. Um, but you're going to draw. Remember, use a pencil first. I'm just doing a pen because it's easier for you to see. And like I said, I've kind of been doing this for a while, so I can kind of do it with a marker. I can draw with a marker. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can have your parents just say, if you're bored this weekend, just say, hey, mom and dad, can you print out a bunch of these pages? And I'm just going to try to draw them. And then maybe once you, get some practice, maybe you can just, get a Sharpie and start doing it. But I don't recommend it. I highly recommend you draw it first with a pencil, then color it. And the only reason why I say color it before I use the Sharpie is because sometimes if you have a Sharpie line and you kind of do green, you kind of do color it, sometimes the black bleeds with the green. So if you color it first, then trace everything in black, then it'll be in good shape. Okay, so let's see here. He's got a leg. He's got this kind of knee thing going on here. And I have my tripod in the way. Okay. And I don't know. He's got these folds happening here. He's kind of chonky. All right. Okay. And notice how I haven't drawn the tail yet. Let's see. I'll draw that soon. I want to draw his spines first. So I'm looking at a toy, and you can just try to make it up yourself. You can maybe try to match my Godzilla, or you can get a picture. You can try to get a picture from the internet. But remember, if you do that, if you look on the internet, you want to get your parents to help you. You don't want to do that by yourself, because the internet is a great resource, but there's so many weird, stupid stuff on the internet. So make sure you say, hey, mom and dad, can you help me look for some Godzilla images so that I can draw them? And, because you don't want me to do it by myself. And they'll be like, okay, right? They probably don't want to because they're probably tired after working all day. But just say, hey, Mr. Smith said you could help me so that I don't look on the internet by myself. But if you have like a toy at home, like I'm just using a toy, you might match him. But there's a lot of good images of Godzilla out there that might give you ideas for the spines and the texture, and everything that we're going to do. Okay, but remember, get your parents to help you. So I'm going to draw some spines, but he's got some spines in front. So I'm going to kind of do this, and I'm just going to kind of draw them. I'm looking very carefully at the toy, and I'm trying to kind of match, as best I can, the way these spines look. Now he has like 3 rows of spines, but we're only really going to see 2 of them. The nice thing about looking at a toy or a picture is that you can really try to kind of match the design of how these look. I guess I'm going to draw, let's see, I guess I got to draw his tail now. That's funny, that's off the screen. Okay, so I drew his tail anyways. But if you're looking at a toy or a picture, you can really try to match it, and you're kind of focusing on those shapes, trying to get it to look the way it is. Like, you don't want to make it up. You don't want to make up the shapes, although I'm kind of making them up a little. But when you look at something in real life or a picture, you notice when you draw it, when you try to copy it, you'll draw things that you don't normally see, that you don't think about. And That's kind of important. Okay. My Godzilla. Okay. So I totally made that one up. I was like, whoops. I was just kind of okay. I'm gonna look more carefully at my my toy here. Okay. He's got one here. Oh. Okay. And now they're kind of starting to get smaller. And now I'm just gonna add some. Oh, you can't even see that. Okay, so I'm adding some bumps here. Okay, so I added those spines, and they look kind of cool. Okay, so now I'm kind of, let's see, he kind of has this part of the tail, kind of like an alligator. It's kind of like an underneath of his tail. And then there's some like, okay, and okay, that's good for now. Okay, so I kind of have the main outline of my Godzilla. And I was carefully looking at reference, the toy, but you might have a picture or whatever. Now, he looks kind of happy though. He looks a little too happy. I guess that's okay, but normally Godzilla's kind of mad. So now's the part where I want to focus on that texture, right? That texture. So, and if you look at your reference, if you look at your photograph or your Godzilla toy or whatever, you'll notice there's a lot of real interesting lines and shapes. I'm going to start on his spines first, but there's a lot of weird little, like, kind of scrumbly texture. And if you're careful and try to draw all that, it'll look really good. It'll look kind of detailed and stuff. So let's see here. Right? Remember, you don't want to make this up. You want to look at a picture. You want to look at something. I mean, you can make it up if you want to. But if you want to draw Godzilla to the next level, you kind of have to see what they look like. You can't just make this stuff up. You have to kind of look at something. Like you'll notice things about the texture and the shapes that you wouldn't be able to kind of just make up within your imagination. And that's kind of an important part about drawing. Usually people draw, fruit and flowers and things like that. And they look at real flowers or, sometimes they get pictures. And they try to copy all of the detail. And that's what makes those paintings and drawings believable. So that's an important part of art sometimes. They call it usually it's called a still life. And we did one last year, remember? during remote learning. We did a still life, and still lifes are kind of hard. So but they're an important exercise to kind of learn how to draw and to look at things. There's a lot of observation in drawing. Okay, now let's see. I want to draw this stuff in his tail. So I'm looking at they're not all perfectly straight. Some of the lines are kind of different, and they don't match perfectly. But I'm trying to kind of understand the direction and kind of the attitude of these lines, right? I don't know. And then I'm improvising a little, but I'm trying to make them look organic. Organic meaning it's like a living thing, right? These things definitely curve. They kind of curve around the bottom of his tail a little bit. Although sometimes they curve even more. I'm not really curving them very much. When the detail gets really small, I improvise more because I can't really see like what's happening there. And I kind of make it so that my lines don't all go perfectly in the same direction. It looks more, boy, that autofocus. Let me see if I can. All right. Okay. Now it's time there's a lot of texture on his body, and I'm going to look at my Godzilla and kind of follow the way it goes. Like it kind of goes down and it kind of goes around, so there's kind of a fold on his arm, kind of goes around here, kind of goes down. So this might seem tedious to you to draw all this texture, but if you watch how it kind of goes down and around his legs, and there's like a fold here. These are like contour lines. That's the art term for it. Contour lines. Contour lines meaning they follow the shape of what you're trying to draw, right? Okay. So wow, even though this is like a free, fun thing, we're kind of learning a lot of important concepts. We're learning about observational drawing, like using, like looking at something to draw and taking our time and trying to match it, as close as we can. So observation, drawing from observation. Still life. Still life is where we take an object and we draw it, and we draw it using observation. So that's, that kind of observation kind of goes with still life. So still life, and still life is typically flowers and fruit and things like that. You've seen them. And then we're also learning about contour lines. Contour lines follow the shape and form of an object that we're trying to draw. And usually they curve, so or they try to, like, our lines aren't just like, they're not just straight down. Like, I'm kind of looking at my Godzilla, whoa, blur. Like, I don't just draw my lines straight down. I try to curve them, because this upper part of his leg is curved, kind of like a turkey leg. And so these lines kind of curve, and they follow the contour. Contour is like the direction of that shape, and so it feels like it's bending and curving, even though it's on a flat drawing surface. So those are kind of contour lines. Okay, and I'm doing kind of the same thing here too. Like around his foot, they kind of curve down. I don't know, but you'll notice this more when you draw it from observation. Okay, that's pretty good. So far, so good. Finally, now I'm looking at my reference, and the texture, it doesn't just go around this way. This part actually kind of goes like this. And there's kind of like some bumps too. I don't know if I want to draw those, but he's got like some kind of scaly bumps. The lines are kind of easier to draw. Wow, it's taking forever. Okay. Now, just while I finish this tail, don't forget, just because the body shape is similar to Godzilla, there's a lot of Godzilla monsters that kind of have that same shape. Like, you can just use it just to kind of help you draw your own Godzilla. Like King Ghidorah, he kind of has the same kind of legs. Maybe his arms are a little skinnier, but like, you could have a bigger piece of paper, trace kind of just the body shape on that new piece of paper, and you can draw his wings and stuff like that. Or Destroyer kind of has the same kind of body. So a lot of them, Gigan, Mogra, they all kind of have a similar kind of body. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And so you can make all kinds of different monsters, or just draw your own. Like, ignore my template. Like, do whatever you want. Like, this is just for fun. This isn't for a grade or anything. This is just for you to have something to do if you're bored and you want to draw some more. Now, one thing I do want to say, though, is if you do a real good Godzilla, you should take a picture of it and send it to me. Okay. So there, not bad, huh? One thing, though, that we might want to keep in mind is this. See how there's all this texture and detail on his body. And look, you can't even see his other leg. If you have a picture, though, you might be able to, or a picture, or see, I have a toy, it can kind of help me draw another leg here. Like, I'm going to kind of do it like that. Like, that leg's kind of behind the other one. I go, oh, yeah. Like, hey, Mr. Smith, how come you didn't put, detail in there? Because I don't want that to be emphasized. You could put detail there, but if I just hint at that shape or form, your mind kind of says, oh yeah, that's probably his other leg. Maybe I can put a little bit of detail in there, but I'm just going to leave it blank like that.
That way you focus more on this leg in the foreground, the front, right? Kind of focus on that one more. Okay, finally, oh, I didn't put any deep texture on his arm here. Like the texture is like smaller and thinner, like on his arm. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to say though is there's so much texture and stuff on his body that you kind of lose track of where his arm is and his leg. And so one thing you can do is you can make the outline for his leg a little bolder or thicker. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of make it, I'm going to kind of outline it some more with my, and this might happen, like you might color it first. And then you might go back and you might make your line a little thicker around that leg. There, let's see, so you can kind of see it a little better. There. And then like here, I already kind of did it a little bit on his arm. I made that line a little thicker, but I'm going to make this part a little thicker too. So I'm going to kind of go in here. There. It kind of helps you see it a little better. Oh my gosh, that autofocus is great. Not, I'm just kidding. Man, that autofocus stinks. Okay, so that's it. So I drew Godzilla. Practice makes perfect though, right? You know, you might experiment with different things. Like I used a regular Sharpie, but it was sharp. Like if you have a real dull one, you're not going to get a fine line like that. Like if it's dull, but if you have a new Sharpie, yeah, you could probably get some good details. But another thing I could have done is I could have gotten an ultra fine point Sharpie, and I could have added even smaller detail in there. Like I could have added some smaller lines, so I could have like a big variety of lines. Here, I'll just do it on his leg a little bit. There, see? So it's like I got thick lines and thin lines. And that's definitely cool for creating variety and texture and detail. And like if I have a finer, I can draw some extra details like in his face because this is uh, it's a thinner marker. So I can get a lot more detail in there. You know, it's hard to draw a Godzilla face. But like I said, if you look at pictures, there, so see here, I'll zoom in. There. So you can see the thin lines look really, it's a little blurry. The thin lines look interesting with those bold lines. The problem is I got to do a lot of these to make this work. But you can have variety and a real interesting texture. Okay, I think I talked a lot about how you might draw Godzilla. Try your best. Remember, this is for fun. See, the problem is, see, now that I've done all that little detail in his leg, now it's like I have to kind of do it everywhere. I don't want to, though. Okay, but that was fun, right? So, and you can experiment, make your own Godzilla monsters. Like maybe you can make a Godzilla with wings, or maybe he's got like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't have a tail. Maybe maybe he has like a little bit of a tail, and he's got like something at the end of his tail or something. Maybe he has maybe he's got spikes or crystals like Space Godzilla. It's up to you. But anyways, you can use this template to just kind of help you with the basic shape, and then you can do whatever you want. Or you can just copy pictures of existing Godzillas. These look neat. So if you want, if I get a lot of these, if a lot of students, like fourth graders, I'm talking to you fourth graders, if a lot of fourth graders do this and you color them neatly and you do a real good job, and you want to show off or just show me you can take a picture of it and send to me. But if you do a real good job and color it, and if I get a bunch of these, fourth grade, because fifth and sixth grade, they might be like, nah, I don't want to do that. That's fine. But if I get a lot of these Godzillas, maybe I can make a little monster island, and I can kind of paste them up. I can tape them. That way, you know, you can take your Godzilla home. But I can cut them out and tape them, and then we can have a little fight scene, or perhaps a friendly scene where they're going to hug. I don't know. It's up to you. So, but anyways, we can have a lot of fun with that. If you think you want to do that, then draw some Godzillas, put a lot of work into them, bring them to school. I'll cut them out, and then I'll make a simple, a very easy. Not I'm not gonna do crazy stuff, but I'll make a very simple Godzilla island where you can tape them on, and I'll give them to your teacher, and then you know, she can help you tape them on, and you could have more fun. So if I get a lot of Godzillas, I'll do that. Okay. So have fun. Remember, this is not for a grade. This is for fun. This is extra. And I hope you had a lot of fun. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you very soon. Talk to you later. Bye.